How you guys doing today? Just going to show a quick tutorial on how to wrap your motorcycle headlight with a yellow vinyl to create that old school chopper look that everyone loves. There's only a couple things you need. Starting with step one here, we're going to use a degreaser, wipe the headlight down from any dirt and debris that's on there. Use a nice clean cloth. This one's not too clean, but whatever. A pair of scissors. We're going to use this to cut the vinyl to a nice square that we can stretch around the headlight. Stretching around the headlight, I mean with a heat gun, helps loosen the vinyl so that you can stretch it a little bit easier. If you're working in a bit of a cold area, you can use a heat gun or a hairdryer. Both work just fine. Obviously, we got our yellow vinyl here. Got this off of Amazon. It's not too much. I think it's like under $10. And then obviously our last step here is an X-Acto knife. Once it's slapped on, you're gonna have a square excess stuff. You're just gonna cut around, take all the excess stuff off. I'm gonna start here by spraying it down here. Just with the degreaser. It's gonna loosen up some of that dirt. Makes it a little bit easier for the vinyl to stick to it. Next step, I'm just gonna take the vinyl, get a little bit of a rough estimate. You want enough on the edges where you can use your fingers to stretch it around. You don't want to get too close to here, or you're gonna end up with the clear lens still sticking out, or even just some finger marks under the vinyl. So I'm just gonna start measuring that up there. It's pretty easy, simple. This right here will be plenty enough to get around the whole headlight. And obviously we want to stretch it right around there. So all I've done here is I've ripped off the backing, which exposes the sticky side, which is the side you want to put down first on the headlight. The other side does have another clear film on there that you just take off at the end. It's just a protectant, so when you're smoothing it out, you don't scratch the actual film. This can be a little bit tricky to do on your own. It definitely helps having a friend hold it out for you while you use the heat gun. But what I like to do is just slap it here on the side of the headlight and take off the rest of the film here. Make sure you got a good grip on the other side so you don't so it doesn't roll back up on you. Then you just want to use your heat gun and heat up the vinyl, helps it loosen up, and I just take it off and try to mold it best I can. So I'm just gonna take it off of here and try my best to smooth it out. It's got curvature, so you do have to lay it down the best you can at first, and then once it's laid down, you go back in and you try to get all these bubbles out of the side by heating it up again. I'll show you how to do that right now. So now you can see, I don't know if you can see on the camera, but this whole half is flush and nice against the headlight. Now we have these edges. I'm just gonna worry about those at the end. Once I cut off some more and I can kind of fold those in. If you're using a heat gun, you don't wanna get too close. You can kind of burn this stuff if you're really close. That's why I like to use a hairdryer. Works just fine, just takes a little bit longer to heat up. So I'm pretty much, I'm at a point where everything on the headlight itself is nice and smooth. It's just the edges right here that are gonna be a little bit crinkled up. So I'm gonna go around and try to get them to go around the corners just a little bit more before I cut it off. And we'll see how much I can get out of it. So again, I'm just stretching it over the corner as I'm heating it up, which is gonna allow me to get my X-Acto knife right in these bends here, and then I can just fold them down. So you can kind of see these bubbles that are up here. Don't worry, those are just the vinyl cover that goes over top of this. Once you cut it all off, like I said, there's just that last piece that comes right off of there. Those are the bubbles that you're seeing. It's not actually the part of the headlight. You won't see it once the other cover comes off. So your last step here, once you've pulled all the edges over is to cut as close as you can. So the headlight's right here, and then you got this part of the housing. You're gonna want it to go inside of where that housing is. So you're gonna wanna cut as close as you can to the housing, so that when you fold it in, it doesn't show any of the headlight. So I'm just gonna go around really slowly and cut some of that stuff off there. Now at this point, you can just take this off. So again, I'm gonna use the heat gun and just push that down with the tip of my finger. You can also use a card or something. It might help you get into those cracks a little bit easier. Before you do that, it's a good idea to take this film off, because once the edges are in, it's gonna be really hard to get the film out of there. So that's your film right there. So I'm gonna peel that off. It's gonna make the yellow look even nicer. And now I'm gonna use the heat gun and push this down. So after you're done pressing down the edges, that's it, it's done. I think it looks much better. I got a new tank ordered for this. Gonna paint it root beer brown. I think it'll match a lot nicer with the yellow and root beer brown. But yeah, I'll show you a quick before and after.